Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sharp here, bringing you Final Fantasy XIII-2. This video is actually the last fight in the storyline, but there are plenty more fights that you can do after you beat the game and get the paradox frag or the paradox scope skill to unlock different fights and stuff. But this video is going to be more or less my review or what I thought about the game in its entirety. Getting to the end of the game, I am very impressed, to be honest. I know a lot of people, especially IGN and Game Informer and all them, they didn't like the story at all, and I actually liked it. I thought it was a good addition to the Final Fantasy XIII universe. While it is a little out there, it is still very good. I mean, it had heartwarming moments, and while it may be hard to follow sometimes, it was really good. It definitely is notable to be a good Final Fantasy game. But the fights, it seemed like, as far as myself goes, just because I am a achievist, I guess, not as far as achievements go on Xbox Live, but as far as completing the game to the best of my ability before I move on to the next section of it. So my party was always well developed, and I had a pretty much easy time with any of the fights that I had in this game. As you can see from this video, I had about, throughout the game you have to collect artifacts, and each part of the timeline you go to has an artifact. And by timeline I mean, yes, this game is sort of about, well, not sort of, it is about time travel and altering the past and the future, which is a nice twist. But anyways, there's artifacts you can collect, and each artifact gives you crystallium points, or crystallogen points, the CP. And it's a high amount, and I had about 72 going into this fight. It was probably about almost the maximum. I know you can get around 80 to start to go into this final boss, but it was about the max that I could get without beating the last boss and getting the fragment skill. But anyway, there's tons and tons of improvements made on this game, such as the combat. It's a lot faster, and they're smarter as far as the auto cast goes. But I mean, I still found myself using the abilities that I wanted and then hitting repeat all the time, just because sometimes it would make me use Frost Strike and stuff that incorporated my strength in. And Sarah, obviously, for this game is primarily a Ravager. All her weapons have magic predominantly on them. So I usually just free cast or select manually my spells. Anyways, the crystallium is upgraded as well. You no longer have a crystallogen, I guess, separate for each specialization. It's one crystallogen, but it's unlimited until you max everything out at level 99. Basically, you have nodes, and you have small nodes, and you have the bigger nodes. And the bigger nodes, depending on what you choose to get those bigger nodes, like whether it be Ravager, Medic, Commando, Sentinel, you get bonuses for those. So if you take a big node as Commando, you get a bonus to your strength, or as a Ravager, you get a bonus to your magic. And then there's alternating ones for the other classes. But each specialization caps out at level 99, but you get the last skill that your character can get in that tree or in that specialization at like almost level 50 or around level 50. But for me, it was a little hard to understand the crystallogen in this game at first, but once I figured out how it worked, it was fairly simple and easy to keep track of. Also, there are, like, I guess you could say, puzzles in this game. 3 different types that you'd have to study. Well, not really study, but go through. They're all really fun. One was really difficult, though. One was like the hands of a clock, and you had to. There's numbers all the way around, and you have to stand on the number. And depending on that number, the clock arrows will come to you and then go back out that number on the thing, and you have to get rid of all the numbers around. So it was really difficult, but I actually finally got it. I actually had to start writing it down on a piece of paper and solving it myself on paper. But as far as that goes, that was a really cool addition to the game. The story is still I guess, sort of linear, but it wasn't as much as Final Fantasy 13 was. In which case you can go into different, I guess, paradoxes of each time period, and there's also different time gates that you go to and go into different zones that aren't even connected to the story that have side stories. So that's really cool as well. There are legendary weapons to collect for each character, which the characters that you play in this game are Sarah and Null. You don't really get to play with any others. Most of them that you fight with are cameos, and you don't even control them, which I thought was kind of lame for me, because obviously my favorite character was Lightning, and I absolutely love Lightning, but you get to play her at the opening cutscene or whatever. But anyways, they also added in these cinematic actions. So at the end of some fights, you have to go and you have to press a certain combination, just like what popped on my screen now. But you have to press those each time you want to. You have to press left on the analog, then B. There's a game that done that before, but it's like at the end of the boss fight to kill him. And there's also live action, so you also get dialogue options throughout the whole story to choose what you want to say to people, which is a really cool aspect for a Final Fantasy. I don't think they've ever done that before. But also in this game, instead of having a third party member, they gave you the ability to tame monsters. It's a lot like Pokemon, actually, with the simple fact that they have a Chrysogen tree as well. So you level them up with certain items, certain monster items that you get for like trash drops or just regular drops off of like regular mobs or whatever. But as you can see, I'm using a Bunker Beast. It's the best tank. As far as I can tell, it was able to get, of course, over 5k HP even before my characters had 2k. So it was I mean, the whole monster thing was kind of cool, because you can get every single class. So you could have a medic monster and not even worry about medic. And I have another video that I may upload later that shows how good a monster can be at healing. With the exception of it not being able to cast as many ATBs as you have. But there's obviously Ravagers and Commandos. One of my Commandos is a Orion. It was like the machine that pretty much raped you in Final Fantasy 13 when you got to the city, and it casted the giant lightning storm or whatever that almost one-shot everybody in your party. But the game's really cool. You'll see a lot of the same mobs, but they have a lot new abilities. Some of the like regular mobs, not even bosses. Sometimes they're really hard for an underdeveloped party. Like they throw you into this place that's really dark it's under the eclipse of a foul sea, and everywhere is really dark, and if you have to stay in a light source like spotlights and just light sources, or a big behemoth will pop out. And if your party is only where it's supposed to be at that point in time, you will get destroyed by the behemoth, because it obviously the behemoths in Final Fantasy 13, you'd get them down to almost staggered and almost dead, and then they would stand up on their hind legs and heal all the way back up and just one-shot your party by cleaving them, which was more than annoying in the other game. But there's also the giant four-legged camel-looking things that you can kill in a couple of Cease and stuff. So as far as the game goes, there's no lack of content. It took me about 30 hours to beat it. It's 10 hours less than Final Fantasy 13, but I had a lot of fun with it. I found myself wanting to come home every day and just play it. Oh, sorry. Anyways, I'm also playing Tor right now. I'm on the Jedi Covenant server, so trying to split my time up between doing ops on that game and playing this game is really tough for me, because I really like this game. I'm going to probably try to get all the artifacts on this game, and I guess there's a bonus for people that do get all the artifacts at the end for as far as the story goes, so I'm going to do that. I can't wait for DLC. They kind of leave it as on a cliffhanger at the end of the game with the to be continued. So I don't know if that means they're going to be making Final Fantasy 13-3, or if they're going to be making just DLC to finish off the story, which I would be okay with that. I really don't want to have to wait a whole another a year and a half to 2 years for another Final Fantasy 13. Although I will wait for it and I will love it, I'd rather than finish it off with a DLC. That way I don't have to wait so much. I mean, I'm sure there's games coming out that will tide me over for another Final Fantasy, such as Tor that's already out, and then you have Mass Effect 3 coming out on the 6th, and then you also have Diablo 3 coming out. So all those games coming out are going to be awesome. As far as anything else goes, I haven't really been paying attention. But yeah, I mean, this game's really awesome. I mean, if you have any comments, questions about the game, and you're maybe too, I guess, afraid to buy it, afraid that it's not going to be a Final Fantasy, feel free to ask me in the comments or anything, or send me a message about it. The game's really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. It takes on a whole different aspect of Final Fantasy, really, and I think personally it's a good addition. Unlike I didn't like Final Fantasy 12. I thought that game was not very good, and I wouldn't even call the online Final Fantasies Final Fantasies. So yeah. Well, I think that's about it for this this video review. So I'm gonna let you guys keep watching this video. Obviously, he's about to die. His health's really low, and I do kill him after this next stagger. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later.